Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Avanti Wellness Podcast, hosted by me, Lydia Smith, aka Butterflydia. I'm embarking on my own transformational journey, and my intention is to inspire, inform, and support you all along the way. My hope is that we are all learning something new with each episode. So let's meet today's guest. Hi, everybody. It's Lydia from the Avanti Wellness Podcast and YouTube channel. And I'm so excited to have my guest here today. I'm starting a new series, and it's called Simply the Best. And it's a series where we're going to be sharing the benefits of the Sunrider products and also the business opportunity as well. And I want to just welcome Mack Atkinson here. Hi, Mack. How you doing?
Hey, Lydia, doing great. And thank you so much for inviting me to be on the podcast today.
Oh, I am so honored that you're taking the time to be with me today and to share with the listeners who have an opportunity to stumble upon this video to learn about what we've known, me for 17 years and you for how many years have you been?
Been consuming these foods for 30 years and been involved in the business for the last 20 to 25. So it's been a while.
That's amazing. Yeah. And as we know, we just got back from Dallas where we celebrated the 40-year anniversary of the Sunrider International company. So we're going to talk about that today. And because Mack is just a long-term Sunrider, we're going to have him introduce himself. But first, I would like to share with y'all, a lot of y'all who watch my podcast, watch the channel and listen to the podcast know that I like to share how I know or don't know my guest. And today I can share that I've originally met Mack about 17 years ago when I went to the Sunrider convention in California to visit the manufacturing plant. And I've actually done that 2 times. So I really believe and trust in the Sunrider brand. And I initially learned about Sunrider in 2001, which is when I joined as a member. And so it's been over 21 years as well for me now that I think about it. I guess I just went to the convention 17 years ago. But I met Mack because he's part of our leadership, and he and some other leaders got together and organized a dinner cruise. And so the first time I met Mack was on a dinner cruise in the Pacific Ocean. That sounds so dramatic, doesn't it?
I can think of worse places to meet.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm so grateful. I ran into Mack in September when we were all in Dallas area, because the good news is that Sunrider has moved their manufacturing plant to the Texas area, and I'm only 3.5 hours away. So is it 1 million square feet? Did I hear?
It is. They own a property in Midlothian, Texas that's 71 acres in size, and they've currently built over 1 million square foot manufacturing research and development facility there right now.
That's amazing. And we're so grateful that they've come to Texas. And I hope we can just do bigger and better things for the next 40 years, because I know they're committed, and let us know that they're committed for the next 40 years, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give the opportunity to you right now to go ahead and just introduce yourself and share whatever you want to share so that the listeners can get an idea of who our guest is today.
Well, again, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate this. And just by way of background, so you guys can hear a little bit about who I am and where I've come from. I was a corporate guy prior to joining Sunrider 25, 30 years ago. My background was all in chemical manufacturing, producing safety training videos for the National Safety Council, and most recently in the biotech industry, where I was working with scientists in the research and development industry, producing synthetic DNA and peptides for those industries. So again, kind of a completely different background. However, all of it was based in health, wellness, and safety. So that's kind of where I've come from. I do live here in beautiful Tucson, Arizona, the Southwest Desert, with my wife, and we have two daughters. One is already 30 years old and lives up in Washington. The other one lives here in Tucson, not with us, but nearby. So we're grateful for that. And again, I just love this lifestyle that Sunrider has brought to us, allowing me so many opportunities.
Yeah, that's great. So we know that we both love Sunrider. Can you tell the audience what it is, like a little bit about the background story of Sunrider so people know where it's all got generated from? I mean, 1982, I love that history room that we went into. That was my favorite part of the tour, just to see the background and the history of Tei-Fu Chen and his wife, Olin. So why don't you share a little bit about the Sunrider company, and then we'll talk individually about the Sunrider products.
Absolutely. Well, in terms of Sunrider itself, you're right. You said it. Our 40-year anniversary. Happy birthday, Sunrider, this year, 40 years in business. And the story, without stealing the thunder from the Chins for sure, and people reading about it and so forth, is they began very humbly. Okay. They started in Utah and had an idea about what they wanted to do in terms of their future, how they wanted to produce high quality products that would really feed and nourish the world. The principle behind Sunrider is all about balance, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But again, this came from an infancy of zero, if you will, all the way up to now a $1 billion organization worldwide, global. Okay. So again, I have to take my hats off to Doctors Chen in terms of their vision and being able to start this company and move it forward the way that they have. And again, allowing, Lydia, people like you and I, as independent business owners, the opportunity to come in and exercise our entrepreneurial spirit, if you will, by having our own business and moving forward simply through listening and sharing this great opportunity with others. For myself, it was kind of funny. I can still remember this. My wife and I had just moved to Reno, Nevada, and this is probably, again, 30 years ago at this point. And I was exercising in a gym, and I was complaining to my wife about a sore shoulder. I was doing the bench press, I'm going, oh man, my shoulder hurts. And this incredible lady named Rachel Jill came up, and as most Sunrider do's, they're listening, okay, for clues. And she heard me say that, and she walked up, she said, well, here, I want to introduce myself to you and your wife. And I happen to be, a Sunrider distributor. Have you heard of Sunrider? No, we haven't. Well, I'd like to share with you this incredible product called Sunbreeze Oil. It's an essential oil. It does so much for your body, but one of the things it does for sure is relieve sore muscle pain. That was my very first product experience with Sunrider. Again, thank you so much, Rachel, for sharing the way that you did, because otherwise I never would have been able to discover these incredible products. Again, I came into Sunrider because of the products and the foods, because that's how I was introduced. What I quickly realized, though, is simply by talking to people and listening for need, Lydia, which we've talked about many times, of course, we can find out what is really troubling people. What are their pain points? How can we potentially help them and be of service to them, which is really what we're all about in Sunrider. I consider myself a person in service mode all the time, simply because I want to go out there and talk to people. I want to learn some of their issues, the challenges that they're having. And then with integrity, I can come back and then offer them a solution that resonates with the challenge they've shared with me. Again, this has been an incredible opportunity through sharing just like that, and through some acquisition. We've been able to develop a business over the past 30 years that now generates close to $1 million in sales every month for the Sunrider organization. And that's strictly within and underneath our organization, of which you're part of.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I'm just so thrilled with that. I mean, the thought that we can help so many people each and every month with their health, their wellness, and their financial needs and goals just really means so much to me.
Yeah, it does. Let's dive into that a little bit. You're helping spark some new thoughts for me, and we could just talk about it openly.
Sure.
When I was 30, that's when I learned about Sunrider. And at the time, my 30-year-old peers were not really that focused on their skincare or their health, because they're vital, happy, healthy, young folks, right? Mm-hmm. And I had a mentor friend. I thank you, Robin Schrader Wilson, for introducing me to Sunrider because she thought it could help me with some of the goals that I was talking about. And she's a friend that's 33 years older than me. So as I was, 30 years old and she was 60 something in the Sunrider program, she introduced that to me and it rang true for me. And let's go back a little bit and talk about why did that ring true for me? Some of the uniqueness about the company, and we're going to dialogue about this. You can throw things in that I'm not remembering,
Sure.
but I want to talk about what makes Sunrider simply the best. And some of those things are, it's a family-owned company. Everyone on the board of directors are all family members, so they get to make really tight-knit decisions for the company. That's important. If you're going to build a business upon a foundation, you want to make sure it's stable. If I'm not mistaken, they're debt-free. I don't know about with the new manufacturing plant that they just bought, but that was always the case. They were a debt-free company, which was a big deal. The other thing is where does the knowledge and the information come from? There's that book out there, Journey to the Sun, where it talks about where the formulations, the Chinese herb recipes, where did that come from, Mac? Didn't that come from ancient manuscripts from the Ming Dynasty era? I mean, how many thousands of years old was it passed down?
Yeah, we're talking 5,000 years of traditional Chinese medicine history here, okay?
Right.
And one of the things you alluded to is right on, and that is Doctors Chen, Dr. Teifu and Oilin Chen. Teifu, of course, is an herbalist, okay? That was his background. That's where he came from. All beginning as a sickly child himself, working with his grandfather, experimenting with some of these food-grade herbs, which is what Sunrider is all about. Not medicinal herbs. We're talking food, okay, is what we're talking about here. And how that helped him to grow and to mature as a young man, the power of those whole food nutritional herbs, okay? So he brought the whole herbal understanding and background to the table. His wife, Oi Lin, is a Western trained medical doctor. So she brought the Western side in. So really, this is the perfect synergy of East and West, if you will, in terms of both thinking and how the body works. Right. Incredible combination. Okay.
Yeah. And let's dive a little deeper onto the food grade. And just to mention, because I'm sure a lot of people don't really understand. I mean, we've been steeped in this conversation for a while. So a medicinal herb is the kind of herb you go to a Chinese medicine shop where somebody might, and I've actually been before where they might perform acupuncture or something and they have a bunch of medicinal herbs and they put together a little formula when you have a cough and say, here, drink this with some tea at night and it'll clear your cough. But you only do that for a no longer than X amount of days. You don't continue to eat that type of strong medicinal herb. What's different about the Sunrider foods, as you alluded to, is that these are through the FDA and everything, food grade herbs. So the herbs are grown organically. Some of them are in the mountains in Taiwan, right? And they ship them over, and this is just powerful, information for people to understand what this is. Not a typical company. In fact, I don't really, in 21 years, I don't know if I've ever seen a company that matches it anyway.
I sure haven't. Absolutely right there with you. And you're right. I mean, the idea of medicinal herbs, you were right on. Okay. You can only take them for a short period of time because they actually do what the body's supposed to be doing for you. Okay. They take away the body's ability because that's what medicinal herbs do. Food grade herbs, as you said so eloquently yourself, they actually nourish the systems of the body. Okay. And you can take them every day, 365 days a year for the rest of your life. Okay.
Right. You're supporting the organs and the systems.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I know one of the things that we'll talk about a little bit more in terms of product and stuff too, but I think this is a great segue to it, is one of the things that truly makes Sunrider unique in terms of their production and how they think about all of this is what they call the philosophy of regeneration. And really, there's a simple principle there in terms of nourishing, cleansing, and balancing the body with these food grade herbs. Okay. And that's something that, again, truly makes Sunrider unique in that a lot of the other companies in the industry that talk about health and wellness, they'll provide products, but most of them are chemicals or isolates. They're not whole food. Okay. In many cases, too, they're not concerned about concentration. All right. Which is another thing that Sunrider is all about. Highly concentrated proprietary processes. Just as an example, again, if you had the 10 carrots, okay, and you wanted the nutrition for those 10 carrots, you couldn't eat those. Too much fiber, you'd have gas, you'd be bloated, it'd be a big challenge. Sunrider is able to extract the nutrition from 9 carrots, spray that onto a single carrot, if you will, and that's the concentration power we're talking about with Sunrider, okay?
Right.
We also alluded to it a second ago, 5,000 years of history to help us with these formulations in terms of developing these incredible foods and products that are out there for us. So again, we've got it going on. And when I think about philosophy of regeneration, again, I try to simplify it for most people when I talk to them about it. And for me, it can be boiled down into one sentence. If we nourish and cleanse our body with the right combination of whole food nutrition and cleansing beverages, our bodies won't just be healthy and in balance, but they will repair, renew, and regenerate themselves naturally. And that's what we're looking for, right? I mean, you mentioned getting to know somebody when you first joined Sunrider that was 30 years older from you and seeing their vitality and their energy level and so forth.
Right. And
That's
I wanted that when I'm old. When I'm older, I want to have that same level of vitality and energy.
Exactly. And, that's where I am too. And, Lydia, it's so funny because like you, when I first discovered Sunrider in my 30s, I wasn't thinking so much about the future necessarily. Again, I was never sick. I was never poor. But when I started thinking about this opportunity, okay, especially coming from a corporate side where we all know the trappings of a corporate position, right? We've got a boss we have to report to. We have to be at the office at a certain time. We can't pick the people we work with. We can't pick our own hours, We really don't have control over our own futures. Even though I had very lofty positions in the corporate world, I tell you, there's nothing like being involved in business by yourself where you control everything, both great. The flip side is, remember, as an entrepreneur, you're taking 100% responsibility for your own success. And that was one of the great lessons I learned early on, that if I was going to be successful in this business, I couldn't be playing the name game. I couldn't be pointing fingers at anybody. I had to take responsibility for the success in building this business. And that was such a great lesson for me and such a wonderful opportunity. And again, I can't thank the Chins enough for allowing us this great opportunity to be involved in this company.
Yeah. And, where you're with the years that you've been actively working in, you're in a position where you get to support others in living their best life, having their best success with the company. And I bet that's very rewarding as an individual for you to be able to see what you're able to help others achieve for themselves, right?
Lydia, there's nothing like it, honestly. And you know this too. I mean, some of my most favorite moments in Sunrider is when I would get an email or a phone call from saying, thank you so much for turning me on to X, because it helped me to see again. It helped me to get my mental clarity back. It helped me to bring balance in my body. Again, those are the kind of things I love seeing, because I know in sharing, we've been able to help people.
Yeah.
And again, those are the kind of things that, again, bring tears to my eyes when I get that kind of stuff, because again, we hear it directly from them. This is how we've been able to help them achieve something in their life.
Yeah. And, I've said this before on another video where I was talking about Sunrider, but I'm the type of person that if somebody tells me about something, then I really check in and listen to, does this feel like something I need to try or do? And I really don't judge things unless I give it a try. How can I judge something without ever experiencing it? And and you and I chatted a little bit yesterday. We come from a real positive approach mindset. And I, dove in and bought Sunrider products because I wanted to see how they would feel in my body, what it would do for me. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, I don't really think that's not going to work, so I'm just not going to try. So I want to just encourage anyone, if anyone's, dealing with anything that they have tried everything, but they haven't tried food grade medicinal herbs, reach out, and you can even go to the link on the video down there, the home.sunrider/AvantiWellness.com, and just take a peek, see what you see what sounds good. We're going to dive into some conversation about our favorite products, and this is a good segue. I will tell you that back when 21 years ago, the Sun Bar was this big. It was like the size of almost 9 inches long. And so I called my Robin and I said, I had the brick for breakfast. Because it was so concentrated, remember? And so now, even over the years, like the products have evolved, and now I carry a Sun Bar in my purse all the time, because you never know when you're going to be without a good, healthy snack option, and you don't want to have to drive through, but you just need something to stave off your hunger to get you through to your next meal or whatever. So let's talk a little bit about our favorite products and how Sunrider, incorporates into our lives, and why do we choose to be around after 30 years or 35 years or 20 years? Like, why am I still talking and eating and drinking and putting Sunrider lotion on my face? Because it's quality.
Absolutely. Yes, it is high quality. And, Lita, I want to just take a step back to something you said a second ago about trying products and seeing how they feel in your body. And, I'm exactly the same way. I may have worked with scientists, but I'm not a scientist. Okay. I'm not an herbalist. I'm not an MD. And I was just like you. When I first discovered Sunrider, it was like, okay, well, let me try these things and see how they feel in my body. And let's talk a little bit about just the NBCs for a second, and then I will get to favorite products and all that kind of stuff. But really, those are my favorite products, are the Nourish, Balance, and Cleanse products. And, when we talk about something like balance, there's a Sunrider product called Quinary 5, okay? And what that does, it's a formulation of over 50 different herbs, plants, and flowers that nourish the 5 key systems of the body. And hopefully I won't mess this up, and if I do, you can fill in the blanks. It's immune, circulatory, respiratory, endocrine, and digestive. Okay. Yay! So again, that formula nourishes all 5 systems of the body. Now, again, it's nourishment, it's food. Okay. And so that's a great balance product that I love. In terms of cleanse, we have a couple of teas. Okay. Now I'm not talking, I won't even mention commercial brands, but they're not even in the same league. Okay. Right. The teas that we have, Fortune Delight and Cali tea in particular, truly cleanse at a cellular level in the body, pulling out lactic acid, fat, flushing fat from the body, etc., clearing the brain of that brain fog in the morning, those kind of things. And again, these are not ordinary teas by any means. When you start looking at the formulation and you see the antioxidants and the catechins and all of the other polyphenols, et cetera, that are in there that actually do these wonderful things for the body. Like you said before, all you have to do is try it and you can feel the impact on your body. Talk about Nourish for a second. We have a number of products that actually nourish the body in terms of what you would eat for a lunch or a meal replacement or a snack, like the Sun Bar you mentioned. For me, a favorite product is New Plus. All right. And what New Plus is, it's a complex carbohydrate that's really a true food. It provides the amino acids that helps your body develop its own protein. Okay. It is just a phenomenal product. And again, I'll come back full circle to your original comment about just trying something and seeing how it feels. That's exactly the way I was with New Plus. It was recommended to me. I'm going, well, gosh, I'm used to bacon and eggs or whatever it was in the morning, and they give me this sachet of powder to try. And I'm going, well, man, this doesn't feel quite right. All it took was one time putting that in my mouth, getting it in my gut. And my body told me, this is something that's resonating really well with you. Okay. This is something you need to keep eating. That's kind of how I try all of these products. And I think you're a lot the same way. We try them. Do they feel good in our bodies, on our face, on our skin, in our laundry room, wherever? Absolutely. If they don't, again, Sunrider manufactures over 400 of the highest quality herbal-based food nutritionals, cleansing beverages, weight management, sports and fitness, green household, and all natural skincare and cosmetics. There may be one or two that don't really resonate with you, but you can find 430 more that do. Okay. So
Yeah.
again,
I
these are
even
just
use their
incredible.
toothpaste, which
Me too.
makes me feel really good about, what I'm putting in the mouth has a microbiome just like our stomach does. And
Absolutely.
I watched a whole video about how
Mhm.
normal toothpaste is just tearing
Mhm.
up your microbiome of your mouth. And
Well, it does. When you look at a label on a commercial brand of toothpaste, what's that little red sign at the bottom of the label that says, if you swallow this, contact your physician immediately? Don't use with children under 12 and all these kind of, disclaimers that
crazy
they put on
disclaimers.
toothpaste. And I don't want to get into a debate about fluoride because everyone has their opinion on that. But when you look at, again, a natural toothpaste like Sunrider, it's made with all natural ingredients. There's no fluoride. There's no sodium, whatever it is that strips the teeth. It's made with all
It's
natural
gentle.
ingredients.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
it's
Very
gentle.
gentle to you. And, that's just another example of the quality and the formulation and knowledge that goes into developing these products for a generation of people that's now growing up wanting more health and wellness in their life.
Yeah. One of the things I appreciate about the Sunrider Foods is the convenience, like how convenient it is to, mix it with water or
Mhm.
some juice or whatever you drink, or with the tea, for
Mhm.
instance, and on the go.
Right.
It's like, I remember I used to think it was like astronauts could carry this into space and have
Exactly.
food in space.
Right.
So let's talk about, I wanted to mention, you mentioned New Plus, and I think it's
Uh-huh.
important to share again more of the uniqueness aspects of why these
Mhm.
products are so unique. But you mentioned amino acids, and I like to come from
Mhm.
a standpoint that most people don't know, certain ideals, and amino acids are basically the breakdown of a protein. So a protein, we ingest a protein maybe like as a meat or
Mhm.
some other form of protein, but the body has to take it through a process to turn it into an amino acid so it can be utilized, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
New Plus, which is so great, is already an amino acid. And I remember JW used to call it a pre-digested
Yeah.
food. And why
Yeah.
that's important is for people who have trouble digesting and breaking down food themselves.
Mhm.
It's a great resource to basically be able to eat something and have it instantly be energy or be utilized in the body, right? So when you talked about amino
Absolutely.
acids, isn't
Yeah.
that really what you were referring to?
Well, it is, and let's just stick with New Plus for a second. I know we talked about when we first discovered Sunrider at age and how we wanted to be and feel at a particular age. And for myself, I mean, I just turned 66 years old this year,
Yeah, you
and
look great.
thank you. And I mean, I'm a fourth degree black belt in Kempo karate. I exercise all the time. I'm out there hiking, doing everything in
Traveling the
my life,
world, you're
traveling the
traveling.
world, exactly, which we can get to in a second. And again, I know I wouldn't be able to do all of the things I'm doing in my life if it wasn't for consuming these foods today and for the past 30 years. I mean,
Yeah.
these are the things that allow me to do all of the things I'm doing today. And you're right. I can remember JW having similar conversations with me. And if you guys that don't know, JW Emerson was a mentor and Sunrider to many, many of us. And what he would always tell me, especially before martial arts workouts and stuff, he said, Mac, now you need to consume a New Plus a half an hour before your workout so you'll have the instant energy to be able to perform at a peak. And I want you to eat one within 30 minutes of your workout so your recovery and you'll be able to build lean muscle from having that workout. Boy, he was so right. I mean, you look back over all these years and the stories that you hear and the various mentors that have shared with you over this period of time. And I got to tell you, it's just been such a wonderful ride for me, having the opportunity to get to know so many people that I never would have had a chance to know if it wasn't for Sunrider
Yeah.
and the impact that they've had on my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, New Plus is great. The other New Plus story I'll share with you real quick is, you mentioned traveling around the world. One of the many blessings I have from Sunrider is a global organization. Okay.
Yeah, 50 countries, right? It's all over.
Absolutely. Sunrider operates in 50 countries. And again, I don't have organizations in all 50
Right.
countries, but many of them, though, I will say. For instance, I have large groups throughout North America, including Canada, some in Mexico. We have huge groups in Hungary. We have big groups in Western Europe and Australia and New Zealand. And one of the other many things I love about Sunrider is the ability to travel around the world a couple times every year. I mean, how fun is it? You get to experience other cultures. You get to try other foods. You get to meet people in other countries, hear about and talk to them about how they think and how they see the world, you know? I mean, again, just spectacular opportunity. And in my meetings, I always asked a group, I said, well, if you're stranded on a desert island and there's only one Sunrider food you could have, which one would it be? And Lydia, 9 times out of 10, they come back and they say New Plus for all of the reasons we've just got through talking about. Okay. So that's kind of my last New Plus story, and we can move on from there.
I was just going to say, you know, because we just got back from 40-year celebration in end of September. And I just want to share that I enjoy meeting people from all over the world when I go to the conventions. And it was so cute because during the gala, you know, music, dancing, like if you don't speak the same language, there's certain things like kindness, love, community, you know, smiles that you can express with each other. And I was not talking to these Korean girls. We were just connecting with music and dancing. And then I took pictures of them and with them, and they were like, you know, we couldn't talk, but we were like, you know, this photo into your phone. And we figured out how to air. I've never done it before, but she knew how to do
AirDrop.
it. Yeah, AirDrop. I don't even have an Apple, but she connected through Bluetooth or something and like AirDrop pulled. I sent her the video because it was too big to text or WhatsApp it or whatever. Anyway, I mean, we did all of that without speaking a word that neither one of us understood. And I love the fact that what we have in common is an awareness and a knowledge that these foods are absolutely simply the best, right? And so we all have an energy of like vitality and lightness and joy. And I mean, that's what, when you're feeling good and you're enjoying what it is that you're doing with your time, you have joy, you have happiness, you have radiance. And that, in my opinion, is what I see when I go and interact with like-minded people who understand what I understand about the Sunrider company and the Sunrider foods and the Sunrider opportunity.
Right. Lydia, you know, it sounds like a cliche now, but I think it's so perfect. And it's the statement of, if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. Okay. That's how I feel about Sunrider. I love what I do. I get to share and help people every single day. And so I love what I do. Okay. And I don't feel like it's work. I enjoy getting up every morning. I love looking at my calendar and who I get to speak with today. Like, well, just interacting with you on this podcast. I mean, these are the kind of things that I love to do, sharing what we have with others.
Yeah. And I am going to wrap up the conversation because I'm sure if you enjoyed it, I would love to have you back for other, you know, deeper dives, deeper conversations. But what I do want to share is, like I mentioned, I have known about this for 21 years, but now with podcasting and YouTubing and social media, I am just ready to share what we have known for so long with a wider audience, because I feel like it's my service to be able to provide resources and help for those who, this isn't for everyone, but it's for the people who are seeking it that can find it. So without me putting it out there, how can people find me? I'm just in Texas. No one's going to find me if I just stay behind the wall, but I want to put this channel out there. I want to have conversations about how wonderful the foods and the beverages and the skincare products are of the Sunrider 40-year-old company. And I mentioned in the beginning that I've been there. I've seen how they manufacture it. I trust the family and what they're about. And that is so key, because how many people can say they, know how a product on a shelf in a vitamin shop is manufactured. Right. And I want to also mention anyone who's curious, when you join like in the Sunrider community, there are thousands of people who have stories and history and experiences. You can get connected with people who could be able to mentor you, be a leader for you, and help you through your Sunrider journey. And that's another thing that I love, is that we're all connected and we all help each other. And it's a very supportive community that is there to help each other thrive. And, I'm just really thrilled to be able to have a platform now to be able to get it out to a global marketplace. So if you're anywhere in the world, I've had people tell me they're from Poland or they're from Hungary, like you said, or Italy. I mean, this opportunity is probably in your country. So, and if it's not, it might be coming there, so feel free to comment below or email or reach out or go to that link. Just if you want to go research on your own, the home.sunrider.com/Avanti Wellness. And we are here to help and support you on your journey to vitality and energy and wellness, really, right, Mack?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have anything in closing that you just are dying to share?
There's so much more that we could be talking about, and I do hope you invite me back for another session or two.
Oh my God, anytime, Matt, whenever you want, we'll hop on and just chat it up.
Well, that's cool. And again, I'm really pleased. And like you, I love the fact that we have social media platforms now where we can reach people so much easier than we could have in the past. And, these kind of things are wonderful, where we can get together, just have a simple conversation, sharing what we know and love ourselves. And hopefully others can pick up on that and see it. And again, I would encourage anybody watching this, check us out. You won't be disappointed. Get with Lydia. She's fabulous. She'll help you. And if you come talk to me, that's fine too. But Lydia is the one you ought to be in touch with, because she'll give you the right guidance that you need. And again, I just appreciate this opportunity. And I'm looking forward to a time to come back where we can talk some more.
Yeah, well, we'll hang up this and we'll schedule the next one.
There you go. Perfect. So, thank you.
Anyway, well, thank you all. And we wish you the best and hope that you have abundance and joy and happiness in your life, and that all is well with you. So hang on there, Mack, and I'll see you all later.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.
Bye. We've reached the end of this episode. If you'd like to continue with this motivational journey, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss out each time we load a new episode. If you have an inspirational story to share or want to let us know about a potential guest, we'd love to hear about it. Contact us at avantiwellness.com. See you next time, and remember, change is good.